welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, thanks for tuning in. This is round 3, stage 5 of the WTRL Zwift Racing League. This is the Syco-list. Let's get on with it. So here we go then. This is stage 5 of my recon for the Zwift Racing League. We're heading over to New York to take on everything Bagel. You know what it means when we go to New York? We have to tackle those glass roads that lead us up that New York com. But this one's a points race taking place on everything Bagel. The course itself is 34.3 kilometers in length, 545 meters of elevation. As it's a points race, FTS and FAL are going to be available on 4 segments on this course. Those segments are going to be the New York Sprint, forward and reverse, and the New York com twice. Sorry to break it to you. Power-ups available on this one. There's 4 power-ups available to you, and they're going to come in this order: Anvil, Featherweight, Anvil, Featherweight. I think I've worked it out that you're going to get your first Anvil when you climb the New York com for the first time, and then the sprint will give you the Featherweight. Your second climb of the New York com will give you another Anvil, and then the second sprint will give you another Featherweight. That's how I think it works. I might be wrong. So here we go then. My favourite topic, as you probably know by now, bike choice. It's always slightly different depending on your watts per kilo, your power, your FTP, and the course itself. For me, looking at this course, I'm probably going to be using the Pinarello Dogma F. It seems to be my trusty go-to bike paired with the DT Swiss disc wheel set. Some would say the Canyon Aeroad with the DT Swiss disc wheel set. But the only thing I can be sure of is that the DT Swiss disc wheel set is clearly going to be the fastest and best wheel on this course for you. And also a quick reminder that Level Racing Esports that I race for will also be doing some recon rides over on the Zwift companion app, so check them out, jump on one of those and ride the course for yourself before the actual race. Well, that's enough of me talking. Obviously I'll be racing this one at 10:30 in the morning UK time, so I'll put out a live stream there so you can jump on that or watch it in your own time before your race. So that'll be 10:30 AM in the UK time for you to watch me stream my attempt at everything Bagel. But that's enough of me talking. Let's dive into my recon.
So my recon starts just short of the race pens, as you see on the right hand side, just coming up now. Take us through the start banner just here, and my readings on this recon are going to be about 0.3 of a kilometre out. So when we get to the finish line, you'll see that I'm 0.3 out on the distance. So just bear that in mind when you look at the recon notes that are accurate for the course. You've got about 2.5 kilometers roughly to get yourself warmed up and ready for this one before you take on the New York com for the first time. So get yourself in the wheels, get yourself settled in for the first 2.5 kilometers. And then we're going to take this right hand turn here, go through the glass tunnel, and this is where we're going to start the New York com for the first time. The reward of climbing the New York com for the first time is that you are going to get a power up. There's 4 power ups available on the course today, and there are 4 segments in play for the points race. First segment is this New York com. This is the first segment for FTS and FAL points, so bear that in mind. Obviously most of you know this, we've raced it a few times in the WTRL or Zwift Racing League already. That first little part of it kicks up to 10 to 11% in places. The second part of the climb here sort of stays around the 7 to 8% in the middle. We get a slight false flat in the middle of it before it kicks on again, hitting some double figures in that second part. Like I say, when you get to the top of this one, you are going to pick up your first power up of the day, which is going to be the Anvil power up. And crossing through the top of this one, you'll probably want to benefit most from using that Anvil on the descent coming back down the other side of the New York com. So try and use it in anything that is greater than a -2% descent. There are some steep sections in that descent, so you can benefit from using your Anvil wisely there. So we're just coming through the banner now. That's the first points up for grabs. Power up is now available, and then we start the descent back down the other side. So here, make the most of that Anvil power up, stick in the wheels, hold your groups, try and bridge across if you can, and see where you are when we get to the bottom. So you've made it down off the back end of the New York com there. Hopefully you've used your Anvil power up to good effect, and now you've got a chance to get a bit of recovery in. You've got about 5 to 6 kilometers before the next sprint, so it'll be a chance to catch your breath, sit in the wheels and manage yourselves through this next section through the park. There are a few little lumps and bumps, but nothing at race pace that you'd really notice or break the group up. So stick within those wheels, hold your time and pace in there, and hopefully you can get yourself ready for the first sprint of the day on the New York forward sprint. So here we go then, we're back in the parts, making our way towards that first sprint of the day. Just get yourself over this little lump, get a bit of recovery in, and as you can see we're about to come up towards the New York sprint. First time FTS FAL points in play on this one. Make your way through there, and now you pick up your second power up, which is the Featherweight power up, which is probably going to be very useful as we go back round to climb up the New York com again. So most of you already know that making your way around New York, there are a few little lumps and bumps around the Central Park loop. But again, they're sort of 3 to 4%. A couple of places like here where you go over the banner here does kick up to about 8% in places. But my thoughts on this is you've got that feather power up now. That will take you to the New York com. And when you get to the top of the New York com, you should pick up your third power up, which will be the Anvil power up. Again, make good use of that on the descent. So as we make our way down through here, in a minute we're going to take a right hand turn and go through the glass tunnel. This is going to be an option for you, is the fact that when we go through this glass tunnel we are going to hit another climb. A bit shorter than the New York Com, it does reach 10-11% in places, has a bit of a false flat in the middle of it shown on the heads up display in that yellow section. But this one here, it might be whether you play your Featherweight power up on this climb or if you try and keep hold of it to the New York Com. All depends, I guess, where you are in your race strategy, where you are sat in the race, whether you're with that front group or not. It'd be a decision for you to make. But if you use your Featherweight power up here, then obviously you're not going to have it when we reach the New York Com very soon. Having got to the top of that one, just need to carry your speed along the top here and down this descent. So hopefully you can make the best of rolling through this slight incline that comes in here using your power that you've got from the descent. You've got about 4 to 5 kilometers from getting over the top of that climb before you get to the New York Com for the second time. So make the most of those 5 kilometers, sit in the group that you're with, hold those wheels, get some draft benefits from being in the wheels, and hopefully get some recovery in. Obviously making sure you're drinking lots of fluid on the bike, because this is going to be quite a tough little race circuit with these climbs in it as well. So get ready, we're heading back towards New York Com for the second time. So as we take this descent here, you can see the road in front for the New York Com. We're going to take a left hand turn and hit this Com for the second time. The New York Com is in play for FTS and FAL points, so this segment is in play on the second time around as well. Again, climb sort of 13-14% on the first section, then we get this flat section for a little while before we take into the second section of the climb, which is 13, 14, 15, 16% at its highest, and keeps climbing through this section. You're going to get a second bit of respite in the blue section shown in the heads up display, then a slightly shallower climb in the yellow segment before it kicks up to finish at the Com banner. You'll be pleased to know all your hard effort isn't going to waste on this climb, because when you get to the top of this climb and reach that Com banner, you are going to be rewarded for your efforts. That's right, you're going to get another Anvil power up. That power up will hopefully help you with the descent on the other side of this Com and get you back down towards the second sprint section of the day. So here you go, the final push up to the Com banner. Be rewarded. Get your Anvil power up, make use of that on the descent, and get ready for that fourth and final FTS FEL segment, which is about to come up on the New York Sprint Reverse. So here you go through the glass tunnel. We're going to take the right hand fork in the road back into the park, and then hit the New York Sprint just here. Take the sprint all the way to the banner. FTS FEL points are in play on this segment, and also you pick up your fourth power up, the Featherweight power up. Not sure why you've been given it here, but there is 1 or 2 segments towards the finish of this race that you could use it. You could use it just as we get over the sort of amber red section of the climb, just coming up now in front of us, just about 30 kilometers into this race. or hold on to it a little bit longer and use it on one of the other little kickers towards the end. Choice is going to be entirely yours. I'd probably use it here if I were you. Get it out the way, make the descent, attack over the top of that one, because you've got sort of just over 4 kilometers to go now, and it is just going to roll in towards the finish line. So hopefully you've got something left in the tank to get you over that finish line. Maybe have a sprint finish depending on what group you're in, but it rolls to the end. This central part loop is just a few rolls towards the end, nothing too major. Obviously you're going to have tired legs from doing the New York Com twice, but just sit in those wheels, get the draft benefits and push on to the finish. It's going up to 0.5 kilometers to go. You've got that building on your left hand side and the bridge that goes over you as an indication of where we are. Then it's that final push. Here we go, finish line approaching.
So there you go then, that's my recon of everything Bagel from New York. 34.3 kilometers, 545 meters of elevation, 2 times up the New York Com, with a forward sprint and reverse sprint on the New York sprint segment for FTS and FAL points. What's left for me to say? Not a lot really. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, then please do click that like button, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.